Before you try another ashwagandha supplement, purchase an infrared sauna, or book another wellness retreat to Sedona, there's something you need to understand about your nervous system. While the best news ever is that your nervous system regulation and support are trending with all sorts of providers, parents, and other experts talking about ways to hack your nervous system. But like most hacks, they only go surface level and rarely get deep enough to truly help heal and repair most people's nervous systems. We are the biggest fans of nervous system regulation, functional medicine, supplementation, detox programs, diet changes, and fitness programs. But the number one thing patients tell us today is I've tried everything and none of it seems to be working. The brain fog, anxiety, exhaustion persists for parents. And the sleep issues, sensory challenges, and behavioral problems stay stuck in a loop for far too many kids. And here's what most parents and even other providers don't yet realize: you can't regulate a nervous system that needs to be repaired first. Until we dive deep and repair the foundational problems, everything else ends up at just surface level band aids that eventually peel off and don't get the job done. So, if you're a parent who's exhausted from trying intervention after intervention without lasting results, and you're ready to understand why nothing seems to work and what's actually missing from your current healing plan, then stick around. Depending upon what research you look at, there's some shocking statistics. Between 60 and 75% of US adults have at least one chronic illness, and the numbers are not much better in kids, with 40 or even more than 50%, according to some research. Whether we're talking about chronic digestive issues, autoimmune disease, or neurodevelopmental challenges like autism, the rates of nearly everything have exploded in just a couple generations. This means we can't simply blame genetics or better diagnostic criteria, but instead we have to put the blame squarely on where it belongs: a chronically stressful, chaotic, toxic, over medicalized, and unnatural environment and lifestyle. We see this pattern every single week in our office where parents come in after trying everything. They've been to multiple specialists, they've invested in every therapy, protocol, and program available. They see temporary improvements, maybe a few good weeks, but then everything resets. The anxiety comes back, the digestive issues flare up again, the developmental progress stalls. It's not that these approaches don't work, it's just that the problem runs deeper than that. So, in order to help this, we need to first understand the difference between regulating the nervous system and repairing the nervous system. Nervous system repair addresses the actual dysfunction within the nervous system itself, the interference and disruption caused by past trauma and accumulated stress that leads to something called subluxation and nervous system dysfunction. Think of it like repairing faulty wiring in your home's electrical system. No matter how many 4K TVs or sound systems you try and plug in to make your house more awesome, it just overloads the system further and eventually everything breaks down. The problem is not with the equipment you're trying to add in, it's with the foundational power supply that needs to be repaired. In contrast to nervous system repair, nervous system regulation includes practices that help an already intact nervous system shift into calmer, more balanced states. Breathing exercises, yoga, meditation, cold therapy, supplements, and various wellness practices. And here's the critical distinction: repair is fixing the engine, regulation is learning how to drive it smoothly. You can take all the driving lessons in the world, but if the engine itself is broken, you're not going anywhere. If you read the book, The Body Keeps the Score, you'll learn that trauma isn't just processed and filed away in our minds, it's stored in the actual tissues, structures, and nervous system of the body, often far below our conscious awareness. This is why you feel all sorts of physical stress, just stress, whether from physical exertion, toxins and chemicals, or long stressful and emotional days. They get fully stuck in your neck, between your shoulder blades and your low back and other parts of your body. When your body encounters overwhelming stress or trauma, it goes into protection mode. And this is crucial for survival in the moment, but that protective state, it can become locked in, creating patterns of dysfunction that persist long after the initial threat is gone. You simply can't talk your way out of trauma that's stored in your body, neurospinal system, brainstem, and vagus nerve. Similarly, you can't breathe away physical subluxation patterns that have been locked into your nervous system since birth trauma or early childhood stress. There is a fundamental principle in neuroscience. You can't be in growth and protection at the same time. Essentially, when your nervous system is stuck in that sympathetic dominant survival orientated state, all the meditation and supplements in the world wouldn't create the lasting change. This is especially true when when the start to life, when the nervous system was learning how to handle life involved just a lot of stress. While we know modern life is super stressful for us as adults, and what most parents and providers don't yet realize is how early the stress toxicity and the medicalization of our current lifestyle starts, even for our children. Most children today, they go through a series of stressors that create a cascading neurological dysfunction. Prenatal stress, when mom experiences high anxiety or takes certain medications, birth interventions like C section, now 1 in 3 births, forceps, vacuum extraction, or induction that place profound physical strain on the infant's delicate brainstem and upper neck. All of these early childhood stressors, they compound the problem. Colic, reflux, and constipation, they're not just normal infant struggles. They're early warning signs of nervous system dysfunction. And when these lead to frequent ear infections and repeated rounds of antibiotics, the damage deepens. Research shows that repeated antibiotic use in children under the age of 2 are significantly more likely to struggle with allergies, asthma, and gut issues later in life. So the level of stress and trauma most children experience, it locks the neurospinal system into such a deeply stuck state that surface level interventions simply can't get through. It's not that other approaches are wrong. The dysfunction is just too severe for them to address on their own. This is why your regulation tools might be failing. When subluxation creates this constant interference in the system and the vagus nerve is dysfunctional from early trauma, regulation tools are like trying to change the thermostat when the furnace itself is broken. We need to focus on the right thing, repairing the nervous system so that it can regulate with these tools. So you might be asking, what are the clinical signs that repair must come first? Well, there's a number of scenarios that we've come across that shows this deeper need for repair. If therapies and interventions they don't stick or provide lasting results, that's a sign. When gut health protocols work temporarily, then plateau, that's another case. If there's been constant relapses after periods of improvement, if there's high reactivity to small triggers, and if you or your child quickly resets back to a stress state even after calming activities, these are all signs of the nervous system needing that deeper repair. Once the system is repaired and in a ready state, breathwork becomes more effective. Supplements are better absorbed and utilized. Dietary changes create more significant impacts, and the body's innate healing capacity can finally activate. This is what nervous system repair opens the door for. All of those regulation tools to finally work as intended. Your family doesn't need more health hacks or surface level supplements. You need the right foundation. Through neurologically focused chiropractic care, we measure and restore nervous system function using advanced scanning technology and gentle, effective adjustments. We help release years of built up stress and tension so your child's body or your own can finally shift from protection mode to healing mode. And then it's just a matter of time when your body's innate healing mode, it heals. Click the link in our bio, comment below, or send us a DM to schedule with our team at Rising Health in Knoxville. We can't wait to dive deep and see if nervous system repair is what you've been missing all along. That's all for this one. Thanks for watching and have a blessed day.